Is a 2022 Dodge Charger a mix between comfort and sportiness? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, as you know, and today we're going to be checking out the 2022 Dodge Charger. This is a V6 model. It has 292 horsepower, and we're going to see if it's up for the challenge in respect to from a crossover from a sedan to, to that sports car. If you wanted a bit of both worlds, along with the extra passenger room in the rear.
As noted, the Dodge Charger packs 292 horsepower in the provided V6 engine. The alternate V8 ups that horsepower to 370 horsepower for the 5.7 liter or 485 for the 6.4 liter. With the V6, it comes standard with an all-wheel drive. This mean looking aggressive car will get heads turning, but not for its loud engine exhaust. The four-door vehicle comes with a standard 17-inch wheel system, capless gas system, rear backup camera, keyless entry, CarPlay, Android Auto, and a few other surprises along the way too.
If you're looking for a sports car, but you still want to keep that family car, sedan kind of style, this is a good alternate. So these go for around 55,000 Canadian. When you're in that ballpark, you've got the option of looking at other sports cars. You got the Scions, you got the Nissans, you've got the Mustangs, my personal favorite. I'll try and keep my biased opinion out of this one. And just for you guys, no, I did not trade this in. This is a rental. I still have my Mustang and I'm very happy with it. But today we're focusing on the Dodge Charger. So far as passengers goes, it's a four-door, and we can pack in 3 individuals in the back. Comfortably, probably 2, but let me show you how it looks. So it's not bad, again, looking at leg room, works pretty decent. Swing over here. As far as headroom goes, I'm tight, that kind of just at around 6 feet mark. It works, but for long cruises, it's not bad. And again, I do have the extra pair of seat belts to make it for 3. Okay. As far as trunk space goes, you got a decent amount to work with. I got all my luggage in today. The one thing I don't like though, let me shut it. You're gonna love this clink. Sounds like I just broke it. So I don't know if it's the quality of the parts, but either way, that's just the reality of it. So I'll try and be gentle with it today. And I think that's kind of it for now. So you know what? It's enough chit chat. Let's get in for a drive. So we're ready to go. As noted, it is keyless entry, which is awesome. So I got my keys in my pocket. I do have my standard storage compartment here as well. 2 USB jacks inside there, allowing me to basically connect to 2 phones. One of them, of course, be relating to CarPlay or Android Auto. This is an 8.4 touchscreen, which is really nice. Again, for watching those navigation maps, for your CarPlay modes, Android Auto, etc., you name it. We've got the automatic version. I think it only comes in automatic, so there's no standard available. But yeah, that's kind of the quick glance of what you're looking at here. And let's just fire her up. There it is. Nothing too crazy. It's no roaring V8 or anything, but that's probably where with the V8, you would, definitely get a different sounding. So let's throw in and let's go for a drive.
Take a walk down the river tonight with a lot that's on my mind.
Give a little bit of punch here.
There's some things I could say to you.
Being a V6, again, that 292 horsepower, it goes. There's no doubt about it and everything. You're kind of at that next point where going to, like I said, a more sporty car, muscle car, going at V8, that's where you're going to start to, hit that, 350, 400, 450, even the kind of the Mach 1s, you'd be looking around, was it 470 for horsepower? So, every little next level takes a different jump to it. So, okay, let's give it a punch here. So 0 to 60 miles, of course. 0 to 60, I believe it's around 5 seconds. So again, we're talking around that V6 engine, so keep in mind that. But again, the purpose of this is, again, if you're in the transition between you want that sports car, but you need the room for a family of 5, this can work. I don't feel as cool in this vehicle compared to my other personal ride, my Mustang GT, but this is a compromise, I guess, between, if you, like I said, you want to stick to that Camry or sedan or whatever, it's meeting in the middle there. There was one cool ride. It was featured in The Island, an old movie, and they did a real cool scene where it was the bad guys coming after the good guys, and it was a Dodge. It was like a Dodge Wagoneer or something. I'll find out. So, but yeah, that was a slick ride for sure. So let's talk about the interior features here. They are heated seats, which is nice. I do have a heated steering wheel. Again, another bonus. I've grown to enjoy this on other vehicles as well. I do appreciate the heated seats as well, especially in the winter months. As for the seats go, they're stiff. I'm not gonna lie. They are definitely a stiff seat. I've got a 3.5 hour drive today, and I've been noticing it's been tough on the back. A little bit of adjustments here and there, but you make it work. But for long commutes, I think I'd be feeling it at the end of the day. So those little things I would just consider with it. I don't think you can do an upgrade to get anything fancier, maybe leather, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be generally the same style and the stock seat that you're getting with the vehicle. I think where we're at right now, it goes from wasteland, desert land, to snowland. Like it's a crazy drive here in the interior BC. It's just bizarre around this time in end of April, but very cool. It's always it's a great drive, always changing scenery, and there's some definitely cool pockets throughout the drive that are to take notice. Haven't done it before? Throw it on a bucket list, because there's some pretty cool spots. All right, punch it, Chewy. Punch it. So there's your V6 roaring. Nice sound. No one around you's gonna notice though. It's just, that's the type of the engine, the exhaust system, and nothing wrong with it. Just that's the reality. If you're looking for that deep, throaty exhaust, consider the V8. I would definitely start looking at that direction. The steering it's forgiving. It's got a comfort steering wheel. It is not tight. It's not. There's no options to change that from what I can find in this. So to change it from a comfort to a normal to a sports steering and everything, you're stuck with what it is. It is telescopic, like you can change all that. I think that's in every car these days, unless you're buying something in the 1980s or who knows, it probably was there too. The navigation's pretty standard. If you've ever driven any kind of Dodge, I've got a Dodge van and everything, Caravan, and very similar controls. You got your volumes in the back, and you've got your changing your tracks and everything, your general navigation, and then of course cruise control, and you got Siri on the left. So it's all. I would personally want to organize a little bit better, but this is just one of those things across any vehicle. You never win. Everyone's got their different ways of where they want to put the volume, etc. So, but it works. Being an automatic, and again, that kind of sports car, you've got the paddle shifters. So that's kind of a cool function if you're, you want that, again, that standard, but you can't, you're not going to compromise the car to go to a manual, and so this is your option. It's not bad. It does work. For the finishing, it's interesting. I find this massive guy, I almost feel like I'm going back 10 years when I was at the gas station and I had to change my kids. It's, this just massive piece of plank of plastic, kind of like a change table almost, stamped in with the pattern throughout, and it's just massive. I don't know why they didn't break it out. It could have been, you could have had a couple different materials or just a flatter. Like, again, the engine's up at the front there, so it's nothing to do with this, but I'm not quite sure why the design intent was this and why they wanted to do it that way. But to me, it just feels, it looks kind of cheap. And then the best part over here, they've got Charger, and it feels like they just went, oh shoot, we got to put the name of the car, let's stamp it somewhere, good enough, boom, just put a little bit of plate on it. So quality could have been up. Again, when you're paying around $55,000, I would expect a little bit nicer, maybe some pockets of leather, just to raise that bar. On the door panels, we got all our standard remotes. Again, these are the exact same ones that are in my 2009 Grand Caravan, and you got individual selection of leather. You do have the cloth side with the decorative stitch. That's a nice feature to it. But again, I just feel I feel the quality is, they could have based it a little bit higher. Again, when you're in that price point, I expect a little bit more. Take like Mazdas, for example. They really, a really good price product, budget friendly car, but they really try and push it to that, Lexus level that they're trying to compete and get into that type of market. So just a different styling, but at the end of the day, that's what Dodge has decided to do and where they wanted to go with it. Sunglasses spot, which is handy. I love those little details throughout vehicles, because again, it's nothing worse when you're on the road and realizing, oh shoot, you forgot your shades, and here we are. Of course, it comes with AC and all that, and you have your automatic function, which is nice. It has dual climate controls, so again, either passenger wants hot or cold, doesn't matter. It works out well. For corners and everything, it does them, but again, kind of going back to that steering conversation, it is a little bit loose. It's, I wish it was tightened up a little bit. It does get a little bouncy, so do be cautious when you're taking your corners and you're driving, but it's a comfortable ride. Like I said, I would more, this is the compromise between the sports car and the family sedan, and it's, you want to have a fun looking ride, a mean looking ride, but you still got to accommodate the family. This could work. As for the drive too, like if I need to punch it, it's pretty responsive to it, which is nice. So if you need to do that quick pass, the V6 does come through and provides you the power, which, again, it's just me personally, I can't stand it when I'm driving a vehicle and you punch it and we're slowly passing. It just doesn't. It's nice when you've got that power behind you, especially, there is the odd time where you do have to get out of a quick, scenario, avoid a danger or, crash or something, and having that quick power is great. Just speaking of that note, I personally can't stand the vehicles that turn off at the lights and everything. I know it's supposed to save at gas, and which I'm sure there's a whole debate online about that, but I find, if you're in that quick moment, you need to get out there and punch it. Well, if you got to wait for your engine to boot up, and I know it only takes a second or two, but still that second or two can change the course of an action and a crash. So just my little side notes with it. For event locations, I'm happy with them. I really am. They're not, it's not like the Camaro where they're down here pointing up at your face and your nostrils, and they're standard and everything. They don't hide them. That's for sure. We know there is a vent there, and again, it's quite funny because it's the same parts off my Dodge Caravan. So again, it would be nice if they kind of went away with that. But I'm sure that's how Dodge makes their money, right? They use one part for all vehicles, and throughout
generations too, just to cut down costs. And from the end of the consumer point, it makes it easier. So I always change it out. I get why that would be frustrating, and down the road when you're trying to get parts and those don't exist. For the cluster itself, yeah, it's laid out. You got your RPMs on the left, centered cluster. It's totally changeable. Your real basic stuff, fuel economy, and there is lap history, so there is some track functions with it. I won't go into it, but it does have that kind of cool, fun elements to it. So if you want to do it, I feel the bumps pretty. Again, it's the shock system's what it is. You feel the bumps, you feel a little bit that kind of bit of a cushiony wave and everything. It's going for comfort. It's not like a Magna Ride shock where it's adjusting every millisecond and tightening up on corners and versus just standard smooth. This is your standard shock system. So I feel it, I notice it once you get going. So again, I wouldn't recommend going crazy speeds with this vehicle. So I've been driving the Charger for the last few days here. I've been filling it up with gas, and we're kind of starting to see the average, our average miles per gallon and what we're actually getting out of this. So on the dash here, it says the average kilometers around 8.5 per kilometer per liter. If you convert that in miles gallon, I just like it's easy to remember. It works around about 19 miles per gallon. Right, and that's highway driving. Okay, so that's all this trip has been about. On something a little bit different, because this is a V6, I've got my Mustang in town, which is 99% of the time I'm driving. I get around 17 and a half miles per gallon, and that's a V8. And I guarantee you, if I was doing highway driving on that, I would get it way better numbers, right? I've seen it 25 miles per gallon. I've even heard someone getting like 28, which is crazy. So in terms of gas mileage for the Dodge Charger, yeah, it's nothing too fancy, nothing too great. I wouldn't be trying to buy this to save a few bucks at the pump. It ain't gonna happen, especially with the way prices keep climbing. I would look at something as an alternative. But you want that muscle car look. You can do it. I'm guessing the reason it's so close to my V8 Mustang is it's probably because it has a little bit extra more weight, and all that plays a factor into it. It was a little bit more bulkier than the Mustang, aerodynamics. Again, all these things have factors, and those play into the big grand scheme of getting you better gas mileage. So, like I said, not wonderful, not too bad, but again, you're going to be paying for it. And if you're especially a lead foot, always gunning it, off the line, especially around traffic in town, again, that's just another factor to take into consideration how you're going to do within town, and again, the big grand scheme of your day-to-day mileage. So that's gas mileage at a glance, and my honest take with it. Like I said, for the amount of power, the amount of gas you're paying out to it, I would go definitely to the V8. And I was actually reading the other day that the V8s are actually better on gas than the V6. Why? I don't know. You guys, please drop the comments below. I'm sure you guys know and study all the data and the facts, so I'd love to hear why. That boggles my mind. It's maybe the engine's not working as hard versus the V6. I don't know. You guys could probably help me out with it too.
So it's come to that time in the video, the summary, the conclusion. Is the 22 Dodge Charger worth it? Is it a buy? And to be honest, for me, no, I'm sorry. It's not. It's not for me at all, but it could be for you. And the question is, why does Dodge continue to make these then? Why do they sell? Why do they continue to put the investment in? And they're targeting a very particular audience, a different type of class. And what I mean by that is, if you're that individual that, needs, you have a family, you need a vehicle that fits five comfortably, and I want to emphasize comfortably, but at the same time want to have that muscle car look, to get the looks and have the power on the road, then the Dodge Charger does the job. It really does. And that's why they continue to put the investment in. And that's why it should be a consideration on your list if that's what you were trying to target in your list. So like I said, it comes down to you as an individual if this is worth it. And that's where I encourage you guys, if you do get to that point and feel that it's an option, then go take it for a test drive. And when you do, try out the V6 and try out the V8. See what you like better. Do you want the extra power? Do you want the extra loudness? Or do you want the gas mileage to be what it is? It's entirely up to you. And that's what you guys got to do as an individual. So, but to have a summary of a summary, like I said, it's not for me, but it could be for you. I did have fun. Like, let's be honest. I did have fun driving for the last 2 days, and it did have a good pep and had the power and everything. I missed the loud sound of that V8. So, if I was forced into it, I definitely would be checking out the V8. But again, for the car that it is, that's fun. And like I said, it's something you guys need to take a look at and try out. So, but that's me kind of sign off here, guys. You got to keep safe driving. We'll check on the next one, and you need to take a look at this video of why the Mustang is the best muscle car. So, till then, see ya.